Good morning, everybody. Today we're going to talk about solving equations in terms of a variable. Alright? Everybody is kind of used to the classic, 3x plus 2 is equal to, I don't know, say 14. Alright? Doesn't matter what it is. We can all solve that. That's not a big deal. But we're moving away from this, and we're moving into something a little different. Alright? Because now I'm going to tell you to solve for y. When I say solve for y, we're really looking at this guy right here, obviously, y. So we really don't care anymore about x. X is just another term. So let's go ahead and walk through this one little by little. So if we're solving for y, we need to get rid of everything else, just like we did when we were solving for x. So in this case, what is next to the y is a 3x. So we're just going to get rid of it. Just going to subtract 3x from both sides. Now this is where people kind of, freak out a little bit, but we know 3x minus 3x gives us 0, so those cancel out. We're left with 4y on the left. And here's the part that people kind of aren't sure about. They've got 12 minus 3x. Well, you can't subtract 3x from 12. And I say absolutely. You absolutely cannot. So all you're going to do is you're just going to write it in. You're just going to put the 3x next to 12. So it's minus 3x. Alright, we just brought that down. So we brought down our minus 3x, we brought down our positive 12, and that's it. No worries. You don't have to combine them, you don't have to do anything. Just write them next to each other. And if you want to write 12 minus 3x, that's perfectly fine too. The only reason I'm putting x first is because down the road, that's what we're going to need to do. So if I get you in the habit of doing it sooner, that's even better. Now we just keep going. So again, solving for y. Divide both sides by 4. Okay. These y's cancel, or those 4's cancel out. We're left with y. Now here's the other piece that really starts to get people going a little bit. Right? They look at this and say, I have no idea what to do with this. So I say, okay. Oops, I don't want to move all that. I want the eraser. Alright. So when I say I want to divide both sides, it means I have to divide everything on both sides by 4. So really, people are like, I don't know what 3 divided by 4 is. Well, that's okay. Leave it as a fraction. Just make sure you reduce your fraction, but a fraction is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And then 12 divided by 4, everybody knows, is 3. That's our answer. People look at that and say, what? That doesn't look right. But it is. It's perfectly fine to have a fraction. There's nothing wrong with it. Just make sure you reduce it. Alright, let's try another one. Just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So again, we're going to solve for y. Alright, t-chart, just like we did before. We're going to subtract 8x from both sides. Remember, those just cancel out. We have negative 3y. Do not forget the negative sign. That's a big piece that everybody seems to drop. And then again, we can't combine 9 and 8x. Some people will try to do it and say it's negative, or it's 1, or 1x, but no, it's just keep it minus 8x plus 9. Bring our pieces in. Just going to write them next to each other. We haven't done anything. Divide both sides by negative 3. And again, when we divide both sides by negative 3, we divide everything. So we end up with y is equal to negative divided by negative is a positive, so we're just going to make it a positive 8/3 x. 9 divided by negative 3 gives me a minus 3. It's that simple. Alright? People tend to overcomplicate these because there's 2 variables. Please don't. Alright? Stick to the rules that you know. You cannot combine x's with whole numbers. And fractions are okay. Just make sure you reduce them. One more. Again, we're still solving for y. And we could solve for x too. But I want to solve for y. So in this case, when I have a negative 5x, I want to add 5x to both sides. Okay, so we have a negative 6y. Those are gone. Is equal to 5x minus 9. Again, we're just bringing down our pieces. Okay, now we're going to divide by negative 6. We have to divide it everywhere. Don't forget that. We end up with y is equal to 5 over negative 6. Oops, I don't know what happened to the board there. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Abandoned ship. There we go. Alright, so 5 over negative 6x, and then negative divided by negative is a positive. So that's going to be a plus. And we can reduce 9 over 6 into what? 3 over 2. Okay. Again, don't worry about fractions. They're perfectly fine. We need to use them. Just make sure whenever you have a fraction that you reduce it as much as possible. But after that, you can leave it right in there. Nothing wrong with fractions. So that's solving equations in terms of variables. If you have any questions, which you might have, alright, make sure you take notes on these videos. It's very important so you can see the process, because the more you write it down, the more you'll understand it. So again, check your notes, ask a friend or two, and if that still doesn't work, come talk to me. I'm Mr. Weeks. Have a great day.